Dandy, thank you, and thank you all for coming out tonight. Can you hear me? Can you hear me better now? Yes. Okay, good. Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now? And I have so many people to thank for making this moment possible, and I'll get into that after the documentary because I know we're running a few minutes behind. But if you can say Denzel Washington in Creole, then that can be my name. But as for the documentary, just very quickly in about 60 seconds, oftentimes when people go to Haiti, more often than not when they go to Haiti, they typically only focus in just a few areas, and most of the time, if not all the time, in Port-au-Prince. We wanted to show Haiti in a different light 3 years after the quake. And it was only after a conversation with Francois where he was listing project after project after project that was going on in Haiti. And my first focus was going to be go to Port-au-Prince, show some of the collapsed schools, the churches, you know, and all those things, and show how maybe if there is progress, I would show a sign of progress or a hint of progress. But he said, look, get out of Port-au-Prince and show the rest of the country. It is something I had wanted to do for a long time. You can ask DJ Fabian, who's gone to Haiti with me at least a half dozen times. And finally, we got our moment to do that, thanks to Francois and his office and many of the people who opened up doors that we never even dreamed. So we were able to show this documentary, and I hope that you like it, if you haven't seen it already, and hope that it shows Haiti in a way that we grew to appreciate this great country even more, and how Haiti is reaching back to its glory days to become once again the pearl of the Caribbean, and I truly believe that that day will happen again. So, we hope for it.
With our greatest appreciation, we hereby present this award of excellence to Calvin Hughes for your tireless and qualitative work exhibited in your Haiti documentaries, uncovering a rich side of Haiti unknown to most. On behalf of the Haitian government, François Guillaume, Miami, May 15, 2013.
Wow. Let's give him a hand for that. And of course, on behalf of the City of Miami, Calvin, we do want to at least give you a special token, a certificate of merit, just for your outstanding work on Haiti 3 years later. We wanted to make sure we acknowledged it. As Council has said, you have actually shined a wonderful light on Haiti, but you've always done that. This documentary was really just a combination of how you felt about Haiti from day one. And I've seen you on several occasions, and you have a love for Haiti. And it's obvious in what you produced in this documentary. So on behalf of the city and the city commissioners and Thomas Regalado, we wanted to at least acknowledge that today. So let's please give him a hand.
First, I'd like to say thank you to Commissioner Spence Jones and to her staff. Thank you for this day, and I really appreciate it. I don't know when to write down my words, but I don't want to miss out on anybody. So thank you. Your staff is very professional, by the way, and they did an awesome job in contacting me and making sure that I knew about this. So thank you, Commissioner. Always very professional. Yes, give them a day off extra. A little something extra in the paycheck. And I'd like to acknowledge some friends who are in the audience who came out to support me today. I know I'm going to get myself in trouble because I can't see everybody. However, the people that I did see and notice, Ron Frazier Sr. Ron, please raise your hand, the best architect in the business. He's retired, so I'm trying to offer him a job because he's retired now, but the best in the biz, 40 years in Miami. And Jim Cole, best attorney in Fort Lauderdale, South Florida. Jim Cole, his lovely wife, Ada, too, yes, who has businesses in Haiti as well. He's invested in Haiti, and by the way, the Boulay, a fraternity that we all share, Ron Frazier Sr. and Jim and I, and Rudy Moise. Is Rudy here? Is Rudy here? Okay. He was here, okay. And Rudy as well, friend and supporter. We've given $500,000 million to Project MetaShare to build one of the first ERs over there in Port-au-Prince. So we have certainly put our money where our mouth is. And Jim is going to soon to be our new president of the Boulé, so he is the person who spearheaded that and made sure that happened. So it's a lot of money, guys. Last time I checked. DJ Fabian, I'd like to say hello to him. Where are you, DJ? DJ is an awesome, awesome guy. He went with me to cover the earthquake, and DJ is, for someone, he himself, I hope you don't mind me saying this, for someone to have lost part of his left leg in a motorcycle accident years ago, was more active over in Haiti than I was when the earthquake happened. He is just an incredible guy. He's been a brother and a big brother to me and a big friend of mine. So, and my French interpreter, by the way. So if my French or Creole isn't very good, blame DJ. I learned from him. And Sam, Sam went with me over to Haiti for the very first time. First Haitian American to go with me as my photographer. And it's different when you have someone who's not from a country go and carry the camera. The brother was working 14, 15 hours a day, and he told me what he wanted to shoot. So all of those kids going to school and all of the monuments that you saw, that was Sam telling me, we're putting this in your story. So Sam is an incredible photographer. Thank you, Sam. You are awesome, and man, all the praise that comes from this should go to you. So thank you very much. And yes. I know I'm running out of time, so I'm going to try to speak to you. Francois, thank you. You are wonderful. Francois opened doors that I never even dreamed of opening, being able to talk to many of the different people we talked to, Stephanie, Minister of Tourism, the Prime Minister. We tried to interview President Martelly. He was too busy for us. Next time we hope to talk to him. I don't want to say that in a negative way. He was just busy. He is the president of the country. So thank you, Francois. You're wonderful. In their absence, I leaned on a lot of people 5 years ago when I wanted to go to Haiti just to learn about the country that I was going to be talking about in the news. And that was really my initial goal, was just to go to Haiti, just to learn more about a country I was going to be speaking about. And it set out to be something so much bigger. But that's what happens when you find your purpose in life. So I leaned on a lot of people to make this happen. So in their absence, Gypsy Metellus, she took my phone calls late at night when I was asking crazy questions about the politics of Haiti, which no one has been able to figure out. Marlene Bastiat, my wife, Michael Putney, the producer of that documentary, Rebecca McCann, all the editors, my bosses. My bosses, by the way, turned me down a couple of times 5 years ago when I told them that I wanted to cover the story. They basically said to me, hey, look, you're not going to show anything different with your documentary, but I told them that I would, and so far, I think I've been pretty successful in doing that, thanks to you all. And thank you. When we do those documentaries, it is not because we keep going back because they want to keep showing positive images. That's part of it. That's part of my dream. But they keep allowing me to go back because you all keep tuning in record numbers. So thank you all for making it possible for me to go from the morning anchor to being the evening anchor. I got that promotion after I covered the earthquake in Haiti. I know where, yes. Look, as the saying goes, I was not born last night, and I was not certainly born at night. So let me tell you, I understand where my bread is buttered, and I know that you all are watching, and because of you all, I'm able to continue to have a successful career. So thank you all for tuning in record numbers, and Hannah, groups like Hannah, tuning in record numbers. Thank you. Yes, all you guys are just wonderful. So thank you all. The women are always the most supportive. You know what I mean? They always tend to be. The brothers tend to go, I'm not watching him. I don't like the tie he's wearing today. His bad haircut. His face is shiny. I'm not going to watch it. The sisters tune in and say, that's my Calvin, I'm going to watch him no matter what. I know you. I can feel you. I'm channeling you through the TV. But lastly, and I'll take some questions from you too, is, Haiti has taught me so much. This is not a thing to where I'm going and I'm getting all the glory from Haiti. Haiti has taught me so much. Haiti taught me perseverance. The man who was in the rubble for days after the earthquake. He held on to live and said, I'm not going to give up no matter what. Haiti has taught me commitment and dedication. DJ can tell you, when I was over there, there was a kid who came up to me and was begging for my reporter's notepad. And I asked him why, and DJ asked him in French, why do you want his reporter's notepad? His response, something I'll never forget, and I say this at every career day that I do. He says, I want your notepad because when my school is rebuilt, I want to be ready for class. Goodness gracious. How many American children would say, my school collapsed? Party time. I don't care about school. So, but this child came up to me, and DJ can tell you, he came up to me and was begging me for my reporter's notepad. I gave it to him as well. He says, I want to be ready for school when my school is rebuilt. It has taught me about the power of the human spirit and hope. And DJ can tell you this too. Days after the earthquake, he and I went to bed at around 1 o'clock, cried myself to sleep after seeing all the bodies on the street, and after standing on a school in Carrefour where 60 people collapsed. You saw me there in the documentary. No ER crews had shown up. No first responders. The bodies were still there, rotting away. DJ was there with me. And DJ remembers 4 o'clock that following morning, we had to go to the airport so I could do a live shot for my TV station. And we got up and we were driving to the airport, and people were walking down the street. But then we got to a certain point where people were chanting and screaming and chanting, and in Creole and in French. And I turned to DJ and I said, what are they doing? And he listened and he said, Calvin, they are praising God. And I said, if I lost everything, I didn't know where my brother and sister were, would I actually praise God, or would I sit there and think about all the bad things? They were looking at it and saying, and a gentleman told us this too on the side street in Port-au-Prince. He said, if I can make it through this, I can make it through anything. And that for me is my motivation when I go to Haiti, is to say, for all those people who didn't have a chance, we squander more opportunities here in America than some people in Haiti get in a lifetime. So when I do those documentaries, it's not for me, it's not for the station, it's for those people who never got a chance.
You know, it was something that I had dreamed of doing the very first time that I went 5 years ago, and I was happy to have had the opportunity. My bosses came to me in October of last year and just asked me if I would go back to Haiti and cover a story about Haiti. They didn't have any specific ideas, and I thought, let me cover the story that I've wanted to do for a very long time. They were very receptive to it because of the response that we had from the Haitian American community. So they let me go back, and I was so happy that I had a chance to go outside of Port-au-Prince, because typically when people go to Haiti, they tend to go only to one place, and they tend to go to the worst parts of Haiti. So what I tried to do was to use that opportunity, that stage, to say we're going to go not just to Port-au-Prince, we're going to go outside of Port-au-Prince and show Haiti in a different light, because after all, we're not just covering one city in Haiti, we're covering an entire country of 8 to 9 million people. So for me, it was important to get outside of Port-au-Prince, and really a dream come true, and I'm glad it turned out the way that it did. Oh man, the country was actually more beautiful than I had ever dreamed that it would be. Just flying over the mountains of Haiti, just learning more about the history of Haiti, seeing different people outside of Port-au-Prince, seeing how people were living outside of Port-au-Prince. Cap Haitien is a very different place than Port-au-Prince. Cap Haitien is a very different place from Jacmel. Jacmel is very different from Port-au-Prince. So there's certainly different cities, but people living different lifestyles. And that's the one thing that you don't hear about Haiti, is that, you know, the general feeling is that everyone is living in a very poor way, and that's not true. Haiti is a very diverse country like many other places around the world. That don't judge a book by its cover. Haiti has long been a place that's been perceived in a certain way, but what you have to do is get outside of your own perceptions, and you know, it is believing that, you know, what you see isn't always true. It's taking a deeper look and wanting to see Haiti for yourself. And that's exactly what I did, but I didn't show all of the good parts. That was only a half hour. I mean, there are many other parts that I could have gone to and could have showed people. I mean, we never stepped foot in Labadee, and Labadee is an incredible place. I mean, there are southern cities, even farther south than Jacmel, that are resorts for people where they have vacation homes. No one ever hears about that. So I would say if they take anything it's the tip of the iceberg. Go to Haiti, see for yourself, and you'll see that I'm not just being a cheerleader for a great country, I'm just showing you what I saw.